Be blessed by the divine. Pranams to all members who joined this session today. So with New Year, we have a lot of vision, a lot of commitments, lot of interest to pass this year 2021 happily. So the Vedatrium, though we are not able to meet physically, this Zoom session connects us in every week. And I see the interest of all the participants. Every week they are giving their feedback end of the session. It's really good sign for this session. So as Kumaresan sir told in the beginning, the topic of today's discussion will be a Vedatrium thought on attachment and detachment. Also, the moderation in enjoyment. This is a very unique topic, though we pass through many concepts of Vedatrium from the beginning, how the life, what is purpose of life, and the introspection topics. This is one of the key area which everybody has to focus and get understanding and awareness, because people usually get some misunderstanding on this topic and get into problems. So that's why it is one of the key area where everybody has to give attention and understand. Actually, when we say attachment, before jumping into Vedatrium concepts on this, let us pass through some of the famous scholars who taught about attachment and detachment in their own experience, and how they live the life with the understanding, and how they share their experience. So from Mahatma Gandhi, he lived a life, a family life, but he spent a lot for the people, for the nation, correct? So he's saying detachment is not indifference. It is the prerequisite for effective involvement. So in the very beginning, he says detachment is not indifference. It is the effective involvement. Often what we think the best for other is distorted by our attachments to our opinions. We want the others to be happy in the way we think they should be happy. It is only what we want, nothing for ourselves, that we are able to see clearly into other needs and understand how to serve them. So with this understanding, he served the nation most of his life. So we got the wonderful freedom for our nation. A living legend during our lifetime. Same way, when you see the Buddha, he says about attachment, the root of suffering is attachment. So the basic attachment, what he talks about is the desire, the deep desire can be the root of suffering. Same way, the famous quote from Gita, what it says is, detachment is not that you own nothing. Detachment is that nothing owns you. The phrases, we need to give more understanding on this. Detachment is not that you own nothing. Detachment is that nothing owns you. Same way, another key quote is, attachment to detachment is the key to eternal peace. It is from a Western scholar, Charvi Shah. He says to want to attain the eternal peace, this is the key. Attachment to detachment. That journey has to be passed. Same way, Swami Vivekananda, he clubbed together both attachment and detachment, perfectly developed, makes the man great and happy. So he says, don't detach or don't attach. We need a combination of both together to lead a happy and peaceful life. Now another great poet saint from Tamil poet, Thiruvalluvar. He narrated many poems. One of the topic is the renunciation. On this topic, it is very famous poem. He talks about the renunciation, how a person can attain the renunciation with the name of desire. So, desire, the desire of him who is without desire. So, the aim is keep the desire, but to whom? The person who has no, having without desire. So, in order to renounce the desire, desire that desire, keep that desire to get the renouncement. That's what he ends. Now, let us go little deep on renunciation. If a renunciation is a kind of another alternate term for detachment. When I go through dictionary terms, the explanation for renunciation, what I saw is a formal rejection of something, typically a belief, a claim, or cause of action. A person rejects something, typically his belief or his claim or a cause of action. This is one of the definition for renunciation. Same way, another definition through Wikipedia, what it says about renunciation, it is an act of rejecting something that was previously enjoyed or endorsed. So here also they say whatever we enjoyed or endorsed, that we are rejecting. And for what reason? The another definition is given: abandonment of pursuit of material comforts in the interest of achieving spiritual enlightenment. So this is what given in the dictionary. If you want to go to a spiritual enlightenment, you have to abandon something as a material comforts like that. So these are general definitions about renunciation. But what is true renunciation? That we need to know, correct? There was a discussion happened with one of the close associate of Maharishi. He has a plan. He directly go to Maharishi, says, I want to attain the wisdom, the renunciation, the state of renunciation. So I want to leave everything from my family. I want to go out of my family. So I need your opinion and comment on that to achieve this wisdom. Then Maharishi listened his question and said, yeah, it's good. You completed your duty, so you are decided to plan for this. Okay. Come tomorrow, let us get more understanding on. Then he give time, and then next day the same guy came and waiting for Maharshi's comment. Now Maharshi asked the question, yeah, it is good, but what you will do when you go for outside? If you feel hungry, where you will go? Is it possible to live without food? Then where you will live? Do you have any shelter to lead a life? Then the guy realized this essential needs, basic needs cannot be withdrawn. So we have to depend on society where we live. So we cannot live out of society with the name of renunciation. because we cannot go and beg for the everyday food, correct? So to lead a blissful life, detachment comes when the limit and method is adhered. So that's what Maharshi explained him with the simple examples. If you are eating, stop eat with the limit. So the harmony will come between the action and knowledge. That is called renunciation. That's how Maharshi explained him, and he got clarity on renunciation, and then get his social uh, connectivity with the people, continued his spiritual path of journey. Same way, on the path of attachment, I read one of the article about attachment and detachment. Normally, this attachment detachment comes with the men or material. Am I correct? Either it can be a man with the relation, or it can be with the material. About the attachment with the men, this article was from one of the famous narrator, Sudha Murthy, the wife of Mr. Narayana Murthy. She narrated her personal experience on the attachment and detachment with his family life. How she experienced, how he got the clarity on detachment. What she said in that article, she was living with her kids. So kids are grown. The elder daughter get ready for marriage. So she got married. Before marriage, she was seeing that she is the physical extension of her, and she is with the family. Now, after marriage, she left the home with the new family. Correct. Now she feels she lost a limb, a part of body. Same way, her son also become grown and got married. So both they have to supposed to go and get separate and lead their life. Correct. So when the next visit, when she saw her kids to the family, she saw a complete difference. Their priorities got changed completely. Before they used to get bound with this family where they were grown, but after getting married, the priorities got changed. They are showing interest to stay with their family, to take care of their relations. So now she realized we take so many things and give so much advice to others, but when it comes to our own children, the acceptance comes very late. So what she said, in all my relationship, rather interaction, I give my best and do my best to live up to what I say. So finally, what he trying to share is, my attachment with them is complete. We cannot always attach with our kids. Somehow we have to detach ourselves. So we should not expect from them and reciprocate our affection. So having this realization, we have to start mentally grow when children leave the house. So this emotional vacuum has to be regulated along with the age-related problems. Everybody will pass this cycle, correct? When we grow age, when our kids are getting separated, this emotional vacuum will create in our family also. So we must learn to love whatever we do instead of doing whatever we love. That was the clear message from Sudhamurthy. Now, before getting more understanding on the detachment, we need to know some basic concepts. How this, where we need to detach and why this detachment is required. When we talk about this, for the man, he has the physical body made up of physical body and the life force, the spirit, both functioning jointly in his body. When I say life force, it is the spirit, which is the storehouse, we can say, for all our karmas of heredity. So, this spirit is a source which is in self-rotation, which charges the biomagnetism within our body, which intensifies, and whatever we do, the physical activity, the psychic function, everything is controlled by our biomagnetism. Is it true? So, this biomagnetism is allied with the universal magnetism. We have two concepts. One is biomagnetism, which is within a body, and the universal magnetism, the outside. So these are the two which is very, very closely connected. Therefore, the fractional consciousness from human can extend its activities from fraction to totality to any point of time in the universe at any point of time. So this is possible for a person. A fraction demands, totality supplies. That was the Maharishi's concept, correct? So the biomagnetism and the conversion of biomagnetism is into a sensual pleasure, and that sensual pleasure with all our senses and through our brain, that get converted into mind as a another conversion. So the mind itself has four states of mind. When I say mind, it is the extension of our life force, correct? The conversion of biomagnetism passing through mind is passing through the brain, we call it as mind. So this has four states, basically classified into four states according to our Vedatrium concepts. They are pain, pleasure, peace, and ecstasy. Normally, the human cycle, they pass through the first two parts. Common man pass through the pain and pleasure in his all his regular routine life. Only they pass through these two cycle only. Very rarely people go to the peace, and after attaining peace, they go to the next level of ecstasy after realization. But when we understand the basics of these four, then the attachment, detachment, and the moderation on the moderation on which will take you to this journey will be more clear. Now let us understand what is pain. Pain, we can say it is the aggravated state of conversion of biomagnetism. Just now we talk about biomagnetism, correct? So if you say we have a certain limit of biomagnetism threshold limit in our body, when it gets aggravates, then that causes a disturbance to the flow of biomagnetism within our body cells and brain cells. It can be a short circuit on the circulation, on the biomagnetism, as well as the life force circulation. That triggers the pain. So what is pleasure next? It is the same biomagnetism, but it is in the other way. It is the accelerated state. What is acceleration here? It means we have the biomagnetism stock level, but whatever excess is consumed, whatever excess is consumed within our body, that gives the surplus biomagnetism is consumed, then that gives a pleasure to the body cell and brain cell. So it is tolerable level, so we are feeling that as a pleasure. Then what is peace? Peace is a state of normal conversion. So normal conversion means it maintains the body and brain cells in equilibrium. So this peace is achievable by following certain disciplines. Then only man can live a normal life without pain or pleasure. So that's why this curriculum, whatever our Vedatrium morals says, leading the meditation also, end of the meditation, the peace is confirmed, correct? By saying peace, our mind getting relaxed, and we are confirming peace is attained. The next the level is ecstasy. Ecstasy is the another state. It is very low conversion of level of biomagnetism. Just a minute. I'll just
I think there's disturbance. He's going to close the door.
sorry. Yeah, this ecstasy. So we are talking about ecstasy, correct? So when we say ecstasy, it is a very low conversion. We can say it is a very low conversion level of biomagnetism when our mind is engaged with the natural beauties and secrets of the universe. So knowing the existence and functions of ourself consciously, one can attain the state of ecstasy. So that's how the state of mind functions in 4 different dimensions. So where we moderate. So knowing this understanding, the biomagnetism is the universal treasure, correct? It has links with the body, sense, brain, consciousness, and the universal wave field. So harmonious flow of biomagnetism causes pleasure, pain, ecstasy. Disturbed flow, when it gets short-circuited, it affects the body and brain. That takes you to the pain, misery, disease, and ultimately the death. So to lead a enjoyed life, happiness life, there are 5 aspects we need to follow. Moderation on 5 aspects. For the man, for the survival, enjoyment and happiness, to execute his duties, these are the 5 areas every man has to focus. When one neglects on above 5 or overindulges on these 5 or improperly deals. So there are 3 areas: negligence on these 5, or overindulgence of these 5, or improper dealing. So this affects the polarity of the cell within the body. So the body and mind get disturbed. So now let us go with one by one. We'll start with food. We all know the food is the basic need for everybody, every human. Every day the body produces the millions of cells, correct? Our body is throwing out millions of cells from our body, and we are getting energy from external things as well as from the food. So our body, because of the regular routine activity, this loses the energy, then it has to be filled. So we are taking food to fill the stomach and getting energy to fill the vacant place, correct? So the vacuum which is created in the stomach, we feel it is a hunger. There is a vacuum created inside our body because of the energy loss. Our stomach is the storehouse of food, correct? So this vacuum, the attractive force happening within the vacuum inside our stomach, we feel it as a appetite or hunger. Then the need of food comes. So when we take food, we feel it's getting digested. There is a hydrochloric acid inside. So once the limit is reached, we stop eating, correct? If we are not taking food on time in the sense when we neglect food, when we are hungry, what will happen? If the food is denied for longer time, the hydrochloric acid within our body will erode the mucous membrane within the stomach. So it will create ulcer. So negligence of food creates ulcer. Same way, overindulgence, that also cause troubles. So that's why the intake of food should be moderate. It's not only overindulgence, improper dealing of food, that also another way. Sometimes there is a sudden change. We used to get some advice from others. The rice is good for this, and the wheat is good. So with this vegetable, you can take this type of food. So there are many theories for taking food, correct? So if we go with this guidance without understanding our body language, the food habits, sudden change in food habits will also cause disturbance to the flow of biomagnetism in the body. So the polarity of atoms, the molecules in the body disturb, that gets the short circuit and the disturbance will happen. So that's how what Maharishi says, food transforms into body and is essential for life. Eating is excess and without control causes the food to eat away the body. Instead of we eat, the food will eat our body. This is for overeating. So the body absorbs food eaten in our in a moderation. So food assimilates the body when taken in excess. Now let us go to the next one, is the work. So everybody pass through the life. At one stage we go with this cycle, correct? After the age of adolescence, everybody has the responsibility to do the work. Even children's at the age of childhood, they are engaged with physical activities, sports and games to keep the physical body fit. And so why this work is necessary? Because the quantity and quality of our biomagnetism, the electrical function and the physical function, the chemical functions will be in harmony when we follow this moderation on work. So to understand more on this, if you don't move your body, then the circulation get disturbed. That's why even our Vedatrium, we started with physical exercise is the base. So physically, if you are not fit, then the mental wealth will not come into picture. So negligence of work, overworking or improper work is disturbing the biomagnetism. That is the more clarity we need to understand. So when I say movement of body, the limbs, the blood circulation, heat circulation, air circulation, everything gets into normal. The whatever we move, the contraction and expansion of our muscles, so that creates the change, and the new muscles, whatever need to grow, everything will happen. So the movements of body in accordance with the psychic responsibility is to produce food, clothing, shelter, and other commodities. So when I say work, it can be the need of producing food or clothing, shelter, or other commodities, whatever the society needs. So every day we have to do some creative work or physical exercise, which is necessary for the body. When I say work, overwork, so the overactivity will bring the weakness, correct? In the body, bones, joints, so nervous system will get disturbed. So we should not do a overwork. And if I say office assistant, if he want to do his routine job is doing a slight movement, moving files here there. If he wanted to change his lifestyle, doing a heavy job, cutting, chopping a wood, or carrying a heavy load, or when he engage with that he will face an unbearable pain, correct? Strain or pain. So improper work also we need to avoid. So by knowing this, the energy get depleted and fatigue comes. Less work, which increases the laziness. The skill set will get reduced. The circulation gets affected. It leads to disease in the body. So that's why work need to be balanced. Now let us go to the other concept of rest. See how the baby is sleeping. So our metabolic routine is basically the physical functions all linked with the fuel of biomagnetism. So it needs to be charged, somehow to be charged for the next day to perform our activities, correct? So to whatever the day we are spending our energy, that need to be recharged. So that happens with this wonderful rest, we call it as sleep. That removes the fatigue, that increases the energy, the body cells getting rejuvenated and reactivated. So the minimum stock level, whatever we see, that gets filled, and that gives the necessary energy to maintain the normal functioning, and the next day routines can be started easily. For example, if I have 100 units of biomagnetism in stock, if I start spending 1/4 of my body limit. So we supposed to stop at one stage where the minimum critical stock level. Otherwise, the pain will start. So same way that if we spend more, there is an automatic disconnection happening on the mental function. So the sleep automatically comes when energy is less. So we go to bed and get energy on the next day, having this sleep. So what happening in the sleep? No energy is spent, no energy is required for mental functioning. The only energy is to do the needs of our metabolic routines. So we get energy after sleep, the full energy. Again, the mental function connected back again. So we woke up next day. So this is the only thing we gain energy, receive the stock level. It's a divine uh, gift. Everybody getting a good sleep. Many people feels a loss of sleep, insomnia kind of issues that takes them to medical issues. So we should not neglect the value of rest because it is directly linked with our mind. Excessive sleep, on the other hand, will cause laziness. That we know, correct? The improper sleep, that also, if people are working in a shift pattern, for knowingly or unknowingly, they are forced to work with that pattern. But they have to properly plan and get a kind of regularity, taking enough rest. Otherwise, the body chemistry will change, and that also gives issues on physical and mental function. So as I said, oversleeping, the indigestion is one of the issue. Nervous system is getting affected. It also affects the intelligence. The body fat, it increases. So we have to work a lot. Now, this is another important term, the sexual vital fluid. How it is spent, and what is important, and what is the background of this vital fluid. In our body, the vital fluid is one of the key factor which this is from where this biomagnetism gets converted into the sensory. We spend through our sensory perceptions. We gain our all our pain and pleasure, what we experience with the fluctuations of our biomagnetism happens. The basic of the biomagnetism is the SVF, the sexual vital fluid. It is there for everybody since birth, and if we don't follow a limited method on this spending of energy, then again the confusion comes. When this fluid is thrown away in an irresponsible manner, then the production of fluid is getting reduced either by illness or by old age. So the stock of life force become less, because this is the basic function which is directly connected with our central nervous system, the autonomous nervous system, and the universal wave system. So if you want to lead a healthy, happy, prosperous, blissful life, one has to understand the value of the vital fluid. Actually, this overflow of this vital fluid starts at the age of maturity. It transfers to place, and it is serving the body function and the other routines. So when it is gets surplus, it has to be necessarily to be eliminated in a farm. So that's why the society made a principle to have a married life, to follow a moral life. So completely suppressing the flow or lack of opportunity due to some wrong concepts, then this will lead to a damage to the body parts, glands, kidneys, brain cells. So everything get disturbed. If for any reason, if somebody wants to follow a celibate life, some special process of mental functions and physical exercises should be followed under the guidance of a spiritual master. So there are many theories, but in our Vedatrium concept, we have a very clear explanation how this vital force can be utilized, conserved, following the art of Kayakalpa. Maharshi spent a lot of time on his life and got a very clear thought how this can be conserved for the spiritual path. So one should not ignore any of these facts. The overindulgence of this fluid reduce the stock level. The biomagnetism gets deficient, its intensity. So health of the body will get disturbed. The clarity and intellect also will deteriorate. Negligence, overindulgence, both will affects the body functions. So our curriculums, the educational curriculums, now though it is covering some part, it is not going in that depth. So it is our responsibility to share this knowledge to the new generation, how this value of this vital fluid is important and to lead a blissful life. So on this, the measure and method to be maintained. Spending our sensory pleasures using our senses. Now the fifth one is the thought. So we started with food, then work, rest. After rest, sex. Now it is the fifth one where we need to moderate ourselves. We also know thought is the another form of biomagnetism wave comes from the mind. So where the thought generates, mind is the basic to generate the thoughts. So since biomagnetism is the basic of our mind, we know the thoughts can be classified into good thoughts as well as evil thoughts. So it directly affects our attitude, one's attitude, the body chemistry also get changed with the thought. When I say the biomagnetic field charged by the whirling motion of the life force particle, so the consciousness for all feelings getting connected with the universal magnetism. So our body, mind, both has to be connected together. So we should not say by having this process of imprints how this is possible. Correct? Having a negative thought, that positive thought creates a positive atmosphere, and a negative thought will create a negative vibration, because it is because of the wave, biomagnetic wave. When it clashes with any particle or any field or any mass, it converts into mechanical, electrical, and chemical function. It get characterized. So that clash makes the imprint on the energy particle. Let us take an example of recording on a audio cassette or whatever way. So the magnetic imprints get imprinted, correct? The characteristic is getting imprinted on a media. So it gets reflected when we put the media, then the same track, the song comes, the visual effects will come. Whatever we see through television, it all through magnetic wave transaction, correct? So it is possible. So we need to understand the nature of the emergence of thought. Any feeling is the result of some shocks in the man's magnetic field. So the psychic activities following the feeling. If one feels hunger, that feeling is not tolerated for a long time, then food is taken, correct? The feeling of hunger is get satisfied. So thought of taking food, that act of consuming, the satisfying our hunger, get all imprinted in our life force. So whenever we feel hunger again, the same thought will come to take food. So our body, limbs, senses, everything depending on the feeling or action. So once the mind is engaged in feeling, the imprint occurs. The reflection of imprints is the realm of thought. Reflection of imprints is the physical realm of urge of action. So when we say blessings, so what is that? It is also a kind of thought, correct? Spending a thought. It's magnetic, biomagnetic wave goes in the form of thought pattern. So one thinks of his friend, bless him, then the working force of mind will be with certain frequency and character. So that radiates a harmonious wave to the all parts of body, correct? Same way, if we curse an enemy, the same force of mind will get aggravated and get characterized. So that will disturb not only the other, the same body, our body gets also disturbed. So whatever the blessing or cursing, the thinker is get characterized first himself, then it goes to good or bad to the others. So we should be very careful what we think, our thought pattern. Same way, the imaginary expectation resulting from greed with our own actions, or hatred, or giving pain, loss to others. So the heredity imprints, the deeds committed to the present life degrade our thoughts, may get reflected again and again. So you have to have a psychic practice of meditation. So that gives a clear thought pattern with the practice of disciplining one's own deeds, the guidance of master, our guru. There are many techniques given in Vedatriyam, how to introspect, how to deal with our everyday issues, problems, moralized desire, how to handle anger, worries, all can be. We start with the realization, correct? So, with this understanding, attachment to men and material is natural. Let us summarize what we discussed till now. We have to follow a limit and method on 5. So, food, work, rest, sex, and thought. On what basis? It should be measured, not to be neglected, not to be exceeded. Method in the sense, it should be in harmony with nature. So, with this knowing, we will get more understanding how the enjoyment can be felt. The ecstasy, peace and ecstasy can be felt in a living life. This is one of the famous poem which I want to share with you. It is the translated poem of our Maharshi, Rule for Enjoyment. In ignorance of the universal law of action and result, man indulges in excessive enjoyment of pleasure beyond his potential and perverse in approach. The inevitable outcome is the pleasure itself becomes pain and body, the mind, and the consciousness too. So, realizing this, you should be vigilant in enjoyment, applying the principle of limiting and method, so that you may avoid misery in any forms to yourself and others, now in future. Be blessed by the divine. So with this, I conclude this topic, the attachment, detachment, and moderation on 5. Hope this will give some clarity on this subject. Thank you all.